pretty much what my entire channel is about. Wanted to see how you all are doing. So I'm actually looking to get some feedback from you Kaiju fans. I wanted to ask you if you think that my Terror of Mechagodzilla review was okay. Could it have been better? Were there things that I could have added to it to make it better? And, you know, what are your thoughts on the review? I'd like to know, I'd like to hear your bias about it. And, maybe hear your bias about my other Godzilla reviews. What did you think of them? Were you a fan of them? Did they interest you in checking out the films? No, let's do. But yes, welcome. Perfect. All right. So, get my phone. There we go. I'll be right back. Let's fix this. There we go. I wanted to talk about Camera. This figure that I bought through, I want to say it was from Awesome Collector. The only way you could get it through was through Awesome Collector, and it's part of the Defero line. It's really nice. It goes into it has a lot of detail for a small figure. And then here's his shell for $1. Simo says he was actually $100. I want to say because these are much more detailed than the Pop Vinyl figures. The Pop Vinyl figures suck compared to these, in my honest opinion. The Defero line actually takes their time with the figures, and they put a lot of detail into it for such a small figure, and it's really nice. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Godzilla channel. My name is Valenquill the Gothic Godzilla man. I do unboxings, I do Godzilla reviews. That's mainly what my channel consists of. Hi, Jesse. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. But yeah, no, this figure is awesome. I have many of the Defero. I think the first one was Shin Godzilla. It was Shin Godzilla, and he was a pretty big guy. But yeah, look at the teeth that they did. Like, and you won't see this kind of detail on a Pop Vinyl, or even what is it? Some of the I saw some other Gamera figures. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. I appreciate that. I saw some of the other Gamera figures, but compared to him, it just like even like with some of the 30 centimeter X Plus figures, they just don't get enough detail like they do with the Defreos because like look at how sharp his teeth are. And then his eyes. See if we can get a better. Let's see if we can get a better look. You can't really see it, but it looks almost glass-like. Hey, Dom and Spencer, welcome. So yeah, look at the side view of Gamera's face. And the dorsal fins. And they even did a great job with the shell. A small figure with a lot of detail. And here's a look at his abdomen. Welcome, Rustin. Welcome. But yeah, he's one of my favorite figures of the Deferils. A lot of them are really nice, but like I said, this one is my favorite because there's a lot of detail put into it because of his eyes. His eyes are like glass-like, and I really like it when they do that. It almost doesn't even look like plastic, and I'm not even sure if it is plastic. But yeah, no, the Deferil line's great. They've also done a gigantic line where they're about that big, maybe I want to say about that big. They did one of Shin Godzilla, and they also did one of Godzilla in 1954, where he's biting the train. And I thought about getting it. But he's one of my favorites. I'll show you my second favorite. I'll be right back. Here's the other one. This one is the 1989 Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Biollante. Same, Rustin. Really big Godzilla fan. Really big Godzilla fan. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. But this is from 1989. This is a variant. There were two versions released. There was the original where his fins would glow blue. These glow white. And he's a lot darker than the original version that was released. And he's as I said before, the detail on the dorsal plates, you just won't get this accuracy with a or with a Funko Pop vinyl. He's even really cute. He's got cute little short feet. So a lot like the Funko Pops, but much better. And like the scale, like his scales are very realistic. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the Deferil line, big fan of the Godzilla figures that they have released. And they've also done other figures. They've done Ultraman. They've done The Exorcist with Linda Blair. I want to say I have about 5 or 6, or maybe more than that. I think 7. I think I have 7 of them. I can show you guys my entire collection. It'll take me a few seconds. Here you guys go. I need some light in here. So that is Ava Unit 2 combined with Godzilla cells. And the eyes light up. And her other eyes have almost like a pearlescent like view. And then there is Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla's eyes light up and his crystals light up. And then I have all 3 forms of Shin. Well, there's technically 4 forms of Shin Godzilla, but they only released 3 of them. and Biolante. But yeah, I would like to get more of the Deferils, so that's what I have so far. Do this touch? No. How much money I send? Or spend? How much money do I spend? Well, I do the payment plans because there's no way I could pay for them all up front. That's just way too much money. So I use the PayPal pay in four. So that like takes it down considerably. So I'm not just paying because you know you got to pay the rent, got to pay electric, got to pay for food, all that wonderful stuff. So I have to do payment plans. So you have to budget when you're a collector because you can't just drop everything on the collection. And like I said, I've collected these over the years. I didn't just buy them all out in front. Because that's how X Plus does it. They release them in increments because they know that you probably can't, you know, buy them all up front. So they do them like in seasonal releases, or sometimes they wait about 4 or 5 months. And some of these aren't even from X Plus North America. See, I got him from Awesome Collector. Um, got him from X Plus North America, X Plus North America, X Plus North America. That's all X Plus. That's X Plus. That was from the Godzilla store. Gigan was from the Godzilla store. Mecha Godzilla was given to me by my brother. And then that was my first one. Trainbiter Godzilla. I spent a fortune on him. Well, he was only like 140 at the time, but it's possible he's gone up in price. They also had a Technicolor version where he was green, but I thought it was ugly. So I passed. And then there's Gedo Goji, which is basically the same suit as the 1989. And then Easy Hobby just announced that they're going to be doing like a gigantic figure of Biolante and Godzilla 89. So he's probably going to stand at about, Biolante is probably going to be at like 150 inches, and Godzilla is probably going to be like 80. So, or 60, something like that. I saw the Biolante statue, and gosh, she's so huge. Let me see if I can grab a picture and show you all. I'll just show it to you. Let's see. Also, thank you for joining. Like I said, this is a site for Godzilla, big Godzilla fan. Gamera, Ultraman, Ultra Q, Rodan, King Ghidorah, Gamera. I love all giant monsters. In Japanese horror films in general, I think I've always just had an affinity for Japanese horror. I hope it's not too bright out here. Yeah, you might be able to see it, you might not. Let's see. Biolante Omega Beast. And Easy Hobby is fairly new. They are competing with X Plus right now. There's a competition between them, X Plus, and Spiral Studios for who has the most realistic Godzilla statues or who has the most epic ones. But I think that Spiral makes it identical, more so than Yuji Sakai, to the original suit. Although there are differences where I see Yuji Sakai figures and they look better than the original. That's not it. I'm like, she's not gonna be $169. I'm gonna say she's gonna probably be at least 1,500 for the mast and the width. She hasn't been released yet. They're still waiting. And they're going to do Godzilla 89 as well. He's going to be huge. Probably like 1,000. I'm going to say 1,500 because the Omega Beasts are super expensive. Like I said, I bought, I'll show you the one I bought. It's a burning Godzilla. And I'm like, I can't buy both of these guys. Like, because I'm sure they're going to be sold as a set. Here, let me go inside. Where there's, here, there we go. Trying to get up where there's no light. There we go. Perfect. Look at how freaking big that is. But that's not the one. Well, you know, I might, if I get rich, I'll buy them. Like, if I make it big on YouTube, I'm definitely going to buy them. But I don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm not, you know, I'm not too keen on it. But yeah, if I did get big on YouTube, you know where all my money would go. And I actually made a funny joke about that. I'm like, well, so if someone asks you, so where does your money go? And I'm like laughing all evil, and I show my entire Godzilla collection. I'm like, I don't want a car. I don't want a house. I just want Godzilla figures. I'm a simple man. Give me Godzilla figures and I'm happy. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't pay this much for him. But shit. Excuse my language. Hey, Tyler! There we go. So that's the best I can do for the photo. But yeah, I bought him. They're selling him for. I'll show you guys how much they're selling him for. Oh, here's a better look. No, I know you did, Tyler. I'm showing it to people that haven't seen it. Let me show you what I did find, though, Tyler. I'll show you the, what is it, Violante Omega Beast. I'm going to show you how freaking big this thing is. And she hasn't been released yet. And they're doing Godzilla 89 as well. So you can bet it's probably going to be like 2,000, or no, I'm going to say, because the one Birding Godzilla I got, he was about 1,000. Or he was 800 for me because I got him through the original site and I didn't have to deal with all the tariffs and all that BS. Because like if you, I'll just put it this way: he was 800 on G Forever and Easy Hobby overseas, PlayNationExclusive.com. He was only 800 to 900. You get him on frickin' Big Bad Toy Store and any other site, he's at least 1,500. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 1,500. So Biolante is twice that size. I'm gonna assume she's probably gonna be at least 2,000. That's just a guess, though. But yeah, she's probably going to be 2,000. But man, to have those two as a set, that would be awesome. Like I said, if I ever make it big, then that's where my money's going, to those two statues. But to figure out where I'm gonna put them because they're huge, they're freaking huge, and that's the problem is space. You have to figure out where you're gonna put the statues. You know, unlike the Super Seven, which don't take up that much room, and the Bandai Tamshis, SH Monster Arts, they don't take up that much room. But the X Plus figures, they take up quite a bit of space. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. What happened with that, Tyler? What happened with TikTok Live? Why were you taken off? I wanted to ask you about that. What happened? Give me a second, folks. If you don't mind me asking, Tyler. Because it just has not been the same. It has not been the same there without you, Tyler. It's so stupid. That's so lame. Yeah, it's not been the same without you, man. Every time I go live, I'm like, I miss getting invites from you, my friend. I'm just like, Tyler's gone. uh, yeah, no, it sucks. Cause like you're the only one that I could actually talk. Well, I mean, I talked to Ray and a few other people, but like we've had some really deep conversations about Godzilla, and we've had so many fun times on your live. I mean, that with that one kid. Oh my god, that incident that was so ridiculous. But yeah, no, I miss you, man. Heck yeah. I don't know if we can do. I don't know if we can do. Let me see. And maybe we should do a YouTube live together. Get a big Godzilla audience. Maybe we can get um, Cole from Firewood Media to join. That would be awesome. And then Goji guy. Like if we could get all of them, like get all the Godzilla tubers together. Up from the depths. I love Up from the Depths. Love them. Love him. Yeah, there's a bunch of great Godzilla YouTubers on here. Hi Sprout, welcome. If you're a Godzilla fan, then this is a channel to be. Oh heck yeah. That's so awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Up from the Depths is awesome. I've actually reached out to him and he's actually cuz I was trying to get advice from him about how many seconds, because like he was an inspiration to me. Up from the Depths was an inspiration to me because of his Godzilla reviews, and it made me want to review Godzilla films. And I asked him for advice. I'm like, hey, Up from the Depths, what do I have to do to not get flagged by Toho? What do you do? And he gave me ideas, he gave me thoughts, and it's just like he's super cool, dude, super cool. And he helped me out a lot. And that's how most of my Godzilla reviews have not been flagged or taken down, except for the GMK review. That was taken down at least 7 or 8 times. That was really annoying. Made me want to not review anymore. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to do that. Sorry. Oh, man. But yeah, no, it was so horrible. It was so freaking horrible to when I was trying to upload my GMK review because it went down from like 12 minutes to 6 minutes, and that kind of pissed me off. But I was being respectful to Toho. I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get sued. But yeah, it was such a nightmare uploading that review. I mean, I don't think I've had any other problems. I think I had some problems with my Godzilla versus Biolante review. It got taken down at least once. But the rest of my reviews, Toho has not messed with and just have left me alone. So, just with the GMK review, I feel like it might be because I talked about sensitive topics with the video. It is what it is. I think it's because I talked about sensitive topics with the video. I talked about Unit 731 I talked about the Nanjing Massacre. I talked about the Bataan Death March, the Marco Polo Bridge incident. I brought those up and basically said, yeah, the people that suffered at during those battles are basically GMK Godzilla, and I explained that. But I think that's probably why maybe Japan got upset that I posted that, and they're like, hey, you probably shouldn't post that. It's a little taboo. So that could be it, but I don't know. It is what it is. But that's probably why I haven't put as much effort into my Terror of Mechagodzilla review. I'm glad that you liked it, Tyler, but I don't know. Compared to my other reviews, I've done a lot better. But like I said, work has been eating up a lot of my time, so I just don't have the time to write down the analysis. Because that's what I was doing. I was writing down, I didn't use AI or anything like that. I wrote down all my reviews. I looked up all the facts, all the information. I got all the details. I did all of that. And it took me at least a month to get out or 2 months. It took me 2 months to upload my GMK review because I wanted it to be perfect. And that's when they took it down 7 times, and I'm like, I had to scrap most of what I wrote down and what I had added. And it was really annoying. But yeah, no, it's just like reviewing Godzilla films and, staying with it and, trying to compete with other Godzilla tubers. That's the problem right there. And that's the thing is that I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. Like, I like Cole. I like Up From the Depths. I don't compete. It's just not me. For real. They're like, oh, no, this is taboo. You can't talk about this. We can't have that on here. You can't go into detail about all of that. And I basically said that because Godzilla versus King Ghidorah was Japanese nationalistic, GMK was the answer to Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Because I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah because of his Japanese nationalistic views. And I think I've talked to you all about what Japanese nationalism is. And basically, they downplayed Unit 731. They downplayed the Nanjing massacre and made it seem like it wasn't that big of a deal. And they've apologized for it since. Japan has apologized for it, but still, like, they're very taboo if you talk about it. They're very taboo about it. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my next review will be. Well, probably going to continue with Terror of Mechagodzilla. I feel like that was more of a preview than a full-on review. So that was more of a preview. So when I have the time, I will sit down, write the script. Just been busy with work. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate all of you, and thank you for your patience with me. Tyler, it's good to see you, and I'd love to do a live with you. Um, oh, you're still waiting for the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2000? Did you see the Tyler? Did you see that picture for? I think they're using it for G Fest. They made a burning Godzilla 2000. He looks really freaking cool. Like, he's got the burning chest and everything, but it's burning Godzilla 2000. I'm like, I would love to see a burning Godzilla 2000. That would be awesome. That would be an awesome movie. So I don't know. Figure out something to do with it. Anyways, folks, thank you all for joining, and I welcome you to the Kaiju Madness. Take care.